2, 1. All right, the voice you were hearing, yes, it is Jason, and I am lucky, blessed even, to have both Soul Sisters from Soul Sisters Cosplay. And basically, this is the beginning of my new channel called Cosplay and Cosplayers, where I get what I would call prominent
not
cosplayers and interview them, see what got them started, what cosplays do they prefer, or what characters they prefer on preferences. Let's first start off with asking both of you, what originally enticed you into cosplay?
So, I was taking Japanese lessons from someone my age who was tutoring me, and she was already kind of a veteran in the cosplay scene, and she told me about it. I didn't know it was a thing until she mentioned it, and it sounded like an amazing thing. Dress up as your favorite characters from anime and manga and whatnot, and be around people like you who do the same thing and enjoy the same thing and like these same things that you do. But, you know, I didn't start preparing for one of these conventions until a couple of years later, and by then you were kind of eager to the idea too.
Yeah, because I heard it basically from you. I'd seen examples of cosplay before on DeviantArt. You know how long ago this was, because DeviantArt was like the major thing. Like I'd see photos of people dressed up as these characters from different animes or mangas or TV shows, cartoons, what have you. And I just looked at them and thought, wow, you must need to be a professional or something to do this. It's not like I could just get up and do this thing. That's just like not done.
It was intimidating.
It was intimidating because I just kept seeing all these great pictures of like these like professional looking photos, and I was just like,
we couldn't be
that's
that good.
so cool, I cannot even. And so I thought I couldn't do this. But then from the friend you were taking Japanese lessons from, I was like in the next room and I was overhearing some of this, and I was like, we actually know someone who knows about the thing? Mm-hmm. What is this black magic? And so you came and told me about it, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. And she told us that there was actually a convention close enough to us that we could actually go to conceivably if we wanted to, because I was thinking, oh, they're probably like just in Japan or something.
Yeah.
But there was one in Vancouver, Washington, which was actually Kumoricon, what would you know? This was back in 2012.
Yes.
That's when we first officially went to our first con, which was Kumoricon. Kumori is our home con.
We only went for the one day.
For the one day, to see the cosplay contest. And like, our first cosplays from that con are the ones we don't like talking about, really. I don't like talking about mine. You can talk about yours.
I mean, they were okay. They were quite good for beginners, I'd say. But
Yeah.
we've definitely evolved.
We've learned a lot from that experience.
Okay, next question is, what draws you to a character, to cosplay as that character? What's the one trait that you see in a character that draws you to it?
I don't know if I could narrow it down to just one trait.
It can be a number of traits.
Yeah, there's usually like a few factors that sort of determine if I'm like really attracted to a character in the way that I would be like, I want to be that character in terms of a cosplay. Like their aesthetic of just like their appearance means a lot, of course. Like you can see a character before you even watch the show and be like, I want that one. But I'll never actually do it until I watch the show, because knowing the character and understanding them is something that's always really important to me, because I get super invested in being in character. It's one of the things that makes cosplay the most fun for me, personally. And you too. I mean, we do in character panels,
Yes.
This is why. So I always have to watch the series and get to know their personality, and
Something about their personality draws you to them.
it's like, because I can't say that I usually cosplay characters that have a certain personality type, because I've done a lot of different sorts of personalities in terms of cosplays. I have like a few traits that have like resurfaced a number of times, where I often end up like cosplaying like
Very dramatic.
the very dramatic, like flamboyant, like flourishy, princely types sometimes, or like attractive guys in spiffy suits are like my weakness, and so I often end up cosplaying them. But it's always usually because something about their character or their backstory, just them as a whole, I'm just like, that's complex, that's interesting, plus you look great, I want to be you.
Yeah, it has to be something. I have to really love the character for the character that they are, and you know, by then I've already loved the series as a whole. that they are in, and then for some reason or another, I can see myself enjoying being that character. I don't know if it's because I see something of myself in them or not, because that usually doesn't come to mind, but you know, for example, I loved Soul Eater, and I decided I wanted to be Maka because she was one of my favorite characters.
Okay. Next question. Do you guys prefer purchasing or making when it comes to cosplay?
I get this question a lot. Here, you answer first.
We like to do as much of it ourselves because then we have the most control over how it looks and how well it works, because we want to be as accurate to the actual character as possible. It goes along with acting in character. We want to look in character, look as, you know, genuine, convincing and genuine as possible.
It's like our goal is to do our best, at least to be is to do them justice. That's what I always say. I like to do a character justice, whether that's being in character and really capturing their personality and their essence on the inside, as well as being people's like head canon for the character, which is like they look at you and be like, it's like you stepped out of the screen or like you stepped off the page.
And the only way we can do that is to make as much as possible ourselves.
Yeah, because like buying your cosplays is something that I always say, like, it's totally fine if you do that. It's nothing bad. It's all about why you cosplay. Because a lot of people cosplay so that they can showcase their craftsmanship, and those are the people that enter the cosplay contest and things like that. And for those people, making it all from scratch is probably what you end up doing. But if you're doing it just to go to a con, be in a friend group, have like your own big family, and just have fun as that character, buying it's totally fine. And making it doesn't always make it more affordable.
No, it usually
doesn't. But it's all about what's worth it to you. I personally prefer to make a lot of mine myself because that's kind of what I want to do also with just like my life path. Because like I'm going to college for apparel design. And so like making clothes, and I've worked in costume shops and theater departments most of my adult life. And so like that's just what I've always been doing anyway. So it's been a useful skill that sort of translates to and from cosplay.
And I wanted to do the same thing, so I learned so much about sewing from you and a little bit from our mother, and I'm so happy and kind of proud that I've picked that up.
It's a useful skill.
Okay. I usually end any interview I do with the big three. First, what is the one, it could be show, it could be manga, would be your one biggest guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
We go through phases where a certain show becomes our guilty pleasure, and then we move on to another one after a few years or something. So
yeah, like we'll always maintain a love for that series, but like the thing that really like gets us excited will always sort of evolve over time. Like for the longest time, for years, it has been Soul Eater, and it still has such a special place in our heart. Like we always bring these cosplays back at least like once every a few times each year to all the cons that we go to.
And we've done more and more cosplays from that show.
Yeah.
I also cosplay Liz from Soul Eater.
I cosplay Death the Kid, I cosplay Soul, I cosplay Krona, and I cosplay Tsubaki from Soul Eater. So that tells you how much I love it. Most recently, though, like our new big sort of like obsession has been Miraculous Ladybug, which is the new 3D animation French cartoon that has come out, which is being dubbed in English. Which has been dubbed in English. It's already been there, done
And
that.
that is definitely now our guilty pleasure.
That's our guilty pleasure now.
Only not so much guilty because we'll tell anyone who will listen about it.
We're not guilty.
This next question has been a huge debate between myself and the gamers in the Fallout 3 community, and I'm asking this because I think you guys might have a definite opinion. Dutch Brothers or Starbucks?
Interesting.
I can't say I've tried both enough to be able to answer that.
Yeah, you haven't really been a huge coffee person.
No, I'm not. I have to have a ton of milk and a ton of sugar if I even drink it.
Yeah, I get wimpy coffee. I don't do like black coffee or just like straight up coffee. It always has to have something. It always has to be really sweet and really like light.
I have to say Starbucks, but only because that's what's around.
Honestly, I don't know if I have a preference. I go to them mainly for different things. Like Starbucks, I always get like the vanilla, the cafe vanilla, or like the vanilla bean frappuccino. Frappuccinos are like my weakness. But Dutch Bros is what's usually around me at college, and there's like a Dutch Bros every few blocks. It's insane. It's like they want you to just be addicted to coffee for the rest of your life, which
Well, they do.
they do. College has changed me as a person. So I go to Dutch Bros more often because it's more accessible, and they have something very similar to the Frappuccinos that I get, but it's not quite the same. So in terms of like personal taste, maybe Starbucks by like a little bit, but I have Dutch Bros more often.
Alrighty. Now, I have to ask this because I'm a massive gamer. A lot of people on my channel, massive gamers. Console or PC?
We have done mostly
We are
console.
we are console, but we're not against PC in any way whatsoever.
No.
We watch PC gamers on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we follow a lot of like big gamers on YouTube all the time. We're YouTube junkies like all the time. We watch Let's Players all the time. So like I have
I just
done
never
some
got
PC
into
games.
PC gaming. You got to do it a little bit.
I got into a little bit. I've done some PC gaming. We've mostly had consoles throughout our childhood, though, so that's mainly what we've just been used to and what we've done the most on.
Mm-hmm.
But we can appreciate both. We're not really biased on either side.
And I, for one, am done buying new consoles just for a few games.
Yeah, I mean,
PC gaming has a huge advantage on
you
it.
have to admit, though, if they come out with a new Super Smash Brothers game, we're probably getting that console, though, aren't we?
I mean, maybe. I don't actually know. But they did announce the Wii Switch.
I haven't even heard about that.
It's the new console coming soon.
This is why.
Yeah, the Wii. It's literally turning a home console also into a portable.
Oh, okay.
Because it switches.
Oh.
Which looks pretty darn cool. But
Okay. I mean, if it works, it works. That'd be cool.
Epic last words of all consoles.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you very much to both of you for your time and, unfortunately, patience with my system here.
Oh, it's fine. Of
No.
course. Thank you for having us.
This is a very big first for us, a big opportunity to be interviewed for anything,
For
at least for
anything.
me.
Well, I always felt that sometimes cosplayers do not get the, what I would call, proper light, because they spend a lot of time creating the costumes,
Yeah.
learning the characters' patterns, learning the characters' habits, to where it's literally they are
yeah.
becoming an actor for that character.
Oh yeah, and I'm
that
such a
needs to-
theater kid. Like this is like my happy place,
And
being able to do
basically,
this.
what I wanted to try to do is try to make this channel sort of like, you know how you got Extra, ETV, all that for the big actors.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that for cosplayers.
Really, we
So you
don't.
know what?
No.
I'm doing it.
Be the first. More power to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Of
and
course, thank
have
you.
fun at
You're
the rest of
welcome.
the con.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys. I will catch you later. Out.